Oh, gotta put away my pistols. All right. So to get into the meat and potatoes of this episode, the Pacific Division preview, we're going to start off with, I would like to say, the team that held my heart as a young child, other than the Bruins, the team I always loved due to Disney's productions of the Mighty Ducks, the Anaheim Ducks. Kevin Santangelo. What excites you about the Ducks this year?
It's pretty much one player only.
If you ever want to cheat, I have all the additions and losses, and I can tee you up. Just you let me know, baby.
Well, you don't need that when talking about Trevor Zegras.
The cover boy!
If he's still alive after that hit. But
who gets crushed on the ice in a preseason game.
That's because he has so much skill.
Hate him because you ain't him.
You have any analysis, Kev, or are you just saying names?
He just
I mean,
right.
they're not a playoff team, but they got young talent. They're a few years away, but they just got to figure it out. Let the boys develop.
Yeah, losing
John
Getzlav, Lindholm, Raquel makes them more years away, but yeah.
But they're a few years away. Additions.
They did. Klingberg's good addition.
Klingberg, Ryan Strome. I think they signed him to a 5-year deal. Frankie Vetrano signed there.
Frank the Tank's there?
Yeah.
Yeah, he scored tonight in the preseason game.
They're going to be a fun team. They're going to be a fun team to be on.
Definitely, no doubt.
Pride of Springfield, Frank Vetrano, one of the only people on planet Earth with the Springfield skyline tattooed on themselves. I can promise you that.
I think that the Anaheim Ducks
I know things, Kevin.
Are going to be the most interesting team come the NHL trade deadline. They still have some veterans. They have some people that they signed to 1-year deals. I think they're going to be busy as they look to retool and reload some more.
Who wants Klingberg?
Not the Bruins. Bruins don't want Klingberg. But, the Ducks have made all the right moves to get the pieces to keep the young guys competitive enough to not lose focus. But if it ain't working, we can get more tools to make this team better at the deadline. The Ducks have been a masterclass of how to rebuild a franchise without ever being so bad that guys forget that they're playing in the NHL. It's a great place to play.
Let's be honest. If they did not have Trevor Zegras and he did not become the icon that he became, nobody would be watching them and nobody would be caring about this team.
But they do have Trevor Zegras.
So under that circumstance,
and there is but
he's going to sign a $13 million deal.
I digress. There are other studs there. Mason McTavish is a stud.
Troy Terry just popped off.
Troy Terry's a stud.
Drysdale
is not getting his face pummeled. But
this team has players on it that are going to be very good. Zegras is the next face of the NHL, as he should be. I mean, Trevor Zegras is a very good player. He's a future 35, 60 assist guy.
I just don't think he's
who once got thrown out of Cisco Brewery for using a fake ID when he was 19. Fun fact.
I agree with you, Connor. I don't think he's a superstar yet, and he's going to have to put on size to become one. I think he's an elite talent. He's one of the most talented players in the NHL. Is he an NHL superstar? No, not yet. And he's going to have to really put on muscle and size to do that? Yeah.
I think
But Johnny Gaudreau do you consider Johnny Gaudreau a superstar or a high-end elite player? He scored 100 and something points. Gaudreau and Zegras are on the same track.
I would consider Gaudreau a superstar.
You would or wouldn't?
I would. However, I don't think Zegras has that caliber of talent. I do. I think Zegras is talented in a unique way, but I don't think that's going to transition to him, ever getting past a 90-point season. I just don't.
But 90 points, if you can go 90 points a year in and a year out, you're a superstar.
I don't think he gets there is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. I'm going to say I disagree longevity-wise, but right now I don't see it being possible. He's going to have to grow and get bigger and stronger. I mean, it just doesn't
The reason why everybody looks at this guy and is so amazed is because of
the high-end
crazy goals that he does. But that doesn't – you can't do that 30 times in a year, or you're going to get your clock cleaned by somebody on another team.
The thing with Zegras is, and I know that you don't follow the college and World Juniors like I do, Zegras is a super high-end playmaker. He's way, way, way more playmaker than he is goal scorer. And as he grows, I think we're going to see him turn into a Nick Backstrom type playmaker. He's going to need a guy who puts the puck in the net all the time, though. Like, I don't think Zegras is ever more than like a 30 goal scorer, but he is a 60 assist guy. He really, like, trust me, like, he can make plays.
He's a Huberdeau.
Yeah, like he's a passer first. He's a playmaker first. He really is. And I think that's what will push him, but it has to happen.
Superstar.
I know, and that's where it's like I'm not saying that he's a guaranteed superstar. Like, I don't think there's a lot of guaranteed superstars out of any of the young guys in the NHL. There's a couple. I think that all three. I think the Hugheses are superstars. I think Jack Hughes is going to be a superstar. You disagree? Jack Hughes.
I agree.
Jack Hughes is one of the best players in the NHL. If he can stay healthy for a whole year. Yes. Did you look at his stats? What do you think Jack Hughes' stats were last year, Connor?
Probably scored 60 points, 65.
In how many games?
I don't know.
This is where you're going to get a little
70.
Nah, buddy, this is where you're going to be like, oh,
he was popping off if we got hurt last year.
Yeah, 56 points, 48 games.
That was close on the points.
Yeah, that's pretty good for 20 years old, though, isn't it? You're going to – I don't know. Jack Hughes is better than you think he is. I'm telling you, Jack Hughes is good. Jack Hughes is a future superstar. He is. He can do it all. Jack Hughes has the elite shot. Guys, you have to have the elite shot. You have to. There's no, like, you can't be a superstar without the elite shot.
And to be a superstar in this league, you have to have a man's body and physicality. And
none of these guys do yet. None of them do. You have to grow.
That's why it's really hard for me because,
but Pasta didn't, and now
are they going to be able to translate that skill and that talent as they pack on another 15 pounds of muscle?
Yes, it'll only help. You don't lose talent by putting on muscle. Fat, maybe. Muscle, no.
But you got to play a different style of game as well, in my opinion.
They can look to a David Pastrnak and learn. Not wrong. Look at a young Pasta compared to now. We're only one deep in. Let's jump along. Let's move forward.
Yeah, we're getting heavy on the time, and I'm yelling at the clouds.
The Calgary Flames.
Oh, God. Oh.
We're going to start this off with Brad Treliving. You had a master class of a summer. You took a situation where we thought your team might be back to a dumpster fire, and you kept the Calgary Flame burning. You did a great job. You took Johnny Gaudreau, leaving you high and dry, and you took Matthew Tkachuk, saying you didn't want to be a Flame anymore, and you rebuilt your team better. Not many GMs could do that. Kev? How do you feel?
I'm high on the Flames. Yeah, you lost 200-point players, but
Me too.
You got one back. You brought in Kadri to lock up that second center spot. You got Weegar. You already had one of the deepest defenses in the league. You just got even deeper. Markstrom, great goalie. Vladar, great backup. A line of Kadri and Mangiapane, like those two, when you have Toffoli, Huberdeau, and was it Lindholm on the top line, like they're deep in that top six. And then you have guys in the bottom six who are talented. You have a Lucic there, protect all the guys. You have a Kevin Rooney. You have the players, they know they're fit into this lineup on that bottom, on that fourth line role. And that's the thing, everyone knows their spot. You have a Michael Backlund. You have all these players that know their spot, are going to produce from top to bottom. I'm excited for it.
So for me in Calgary, if you look at Calgary last season and how things ended for them against Edmonton, Edmonton had the one line. Calgary had the one line. I'm sorry. Gaudreau, Kachuk, and Lindholm cannot compete with Kane, McDavid, and Draisaitl.
And neither can Huberdeau, Lindholm, and Toffoli.
No. However, Kadri and whoever else.
Coleman and Mangiapane.
That is a better line.
Third line's pretty good,
second
too.
Line.
Of Pelletier, Backlund, and Dubé.
They just have more roster balance.
Lucic, Rooney, and Brett Ritchie's a hard fourth line. And they still have a guy like Connor Zary in the wings waiting to get a chance.
For me, they just have more balance instead of being so top heavy like, Edmonton and Toronto have been. And then of course you've got Markstrom in net and Vladar, Bruins legend there, backing him up. And I also think one of the things that is going to be curious is I do think at some point this season they will move one of their big defensemen. And I think that's going to be for a significant impact player up front.
Yeah, they have enough pieces that they can make a big move and get even better. I don't disagree.
Who next?
Do we have nothing else on them?
No,
I'm kind of spent there.
They're a playoff team. We're going to make it.
Yeah. Battle of Alberta.
Let's go.
Which only happens 3 times this year.
Which is a joke. Absolute joke. And watch, they're going to be at like 1:30 in the morning Eastern time, and you're going to have to have Amazon Prime to watch it.
Or it'll be an afternoon game, matinee.
Yeah. Like a Tuesday matinee. Edmonton Oilers is pretty good, though. Sorry, I'm coughing. I'm choking a bit. Connor, Edmonton Oilers.
Oh, the Edmonton Oilers. I think that in the short term, Edmonton got a little worse. You lose Duncan Keith on the back end, who, no matter what you say about him and his age, he was their best defenseman in the playoffs last year by a country mile. They got rid of their toughness in Zach Kassian, which I think is going to hurt them quite a bit. That gave a lot of their identity, even though he wasn't necessarily the best, offensive talent. A complete turnover of the goaltending department there, and they bring in Jack Campbell, which I think finally addresses what Edmonton has needed for the past 5 years, is getting some goaltending. And then I think that Edmonton is probably going to be one of the teams that mixes it up quite a bit during the season. There's some rumors coming out recently that they're pretty involved in the Jacob Chychrun sweepstakes. They're still looking to be involved in the Patrick Kane sweepstakes when that comes around. So it's not out of question that this team makes significant upgrades during the season to, in my opinion, what's already a pretty Western Conference Stanley Cup contender lineup.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to jump in and say if you didn't. Oilers, to me, are a Stanley Cup contender, and they win the Pacific Division. Handedly. They win this division. Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl they're sick of it. They're done. You're going to get a whole year of them firing. Draisaitl wants McDavid to be a 60-goal scorer.
And you got to think that Draisaitl was playing on one ankle in the playoffs.
Literally, he was not mobile. He was standing still. He was the best stationary hockey player in the history of the NHL. I stole that from 32 Thoughts. That's been said before.
So
Oilers. Kevin.
Not a
Oilers.
stretch, baby.
I like it.
I love
it. Kevin's analysis is something to be rivaled. The fact that you haven't been hired by TNT yet just blows my mind. The LA Kings. Kevin, the LA Kings. We're going to let you lead off. Tell us about the Kings.
I'm big on the Kings with the.
You are.
Yeah. The addition of
who is your player that you think is going to be the standout LA King? He's going to say Kevin Fiala. He's a big Kevin Fiala.
I am a big Kevin Fiala guy. I watched him last year on the Minnesota. I was sad to see him go, but cap issues always screw you over.
Victor Arvidsson.
Yeah, you could
another
say
guy
that,
with
Connor.
underrated talent from
Could
Nashville.
say that.
They're going to have a good lineup.
Yeah, they're good. Agreed.
They could obviously use a little more defense, but you can jump back to the Jacob Chikrin sweepstakes again. There's another team.
Oh, with assets to make a move.
Oh, they have so many. Because they really didn't give that much up for Kevin Fiala.
No, they still have Byfield, Turcotte, and Kaliev.
Yeah.
And they have Brent. Wait, they drafted Brent Clark too, right?
Can't confirm.
I'll look that up
Or
right now.
deny.
You guys keep going.
But I think they only gave up a draft pick and defenseman Brock Faber
Yeah.
in the Kevin Fiala deal. Like, ooh, that was a steal.
Everyone knew Minnesota had their hands tied, so they weren't getting the package.
Yeah, they drafted Brent Clark, who was the best defenseman in his draft class. Yeah, no, they're good. They're going to be good for a while.
And the goaltending still solid. Jonathan Quick and Cal Peterson in net.
Yep.
They are going to be my dark horse Stanley Cup pick out of the Western Conference.
No.
That's my dark horse.
Unless Quick turns it on.
Yeah, and they can make the playoffs, but
no,
he turned it on last year and it was pretty solid to end the year.
Yeah. Weren't they a wild card last year?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe.
I think so.
We probably should have known that. But the San Jose Sharks. Kevin, you're laughing. You have to start. Tell us about the Sharks.
It's another dumpster fire. They're the New York Islanders, Philadelphia Flyers of the West.
Yeah, they are.
Fair.
This is everything.
They're
screwed on contracts. They're screwed on everything.
What
new
happened?
GM, new coach.
Yeah, they're just like, let's just scrape this thing all.
They tried to win a Stanley Cup in like 2018 and it didn't work. And they signed. The problem was they tried to win the Stanley Cup with a window that was going to close by 2020 with guys they signed in like 2017, 2018 to 18-year deals, 8-year deals. And now we're seeing that, maybe not the best move, huh?
Carlson Maine.
Yeah, they have a ton of talented guys in their team, but they suck. They should probably try to move those guys at the deadline.
It's rebuild time.
It's like, hey, let's re-sign Hurdle. Great move. Great job, boys. It's going to really help you guys.
I wonder how he feels about that contract now.
I don't get it. It's just like, nah.
And I mean, I get that San Jose
prospect.
I know that San Jose might be a nice weather environment to live, but God damn it, those taxes in California can't be great.
No, it's not great.
It's one of the teams that you're looking for to just kind of muddle through and try to get a draft pick. I mean, they're not going to be probably major players at the deadline because a lot of their players are on longer term deals and they have no money to rent out. They're up against the cap.
And here's the biggest problem. They don't suck enough to get Connor Bedard.
Mm-hmm.
They're one of those teams that's like, hey, we're going to finish 11th again. We're going to finish 10th again. 9th
Erik
again.
Karlsson wants out.
Yeah, no way he wants to.
He has said that he would accept a trade.
Yeah, but to where? Who
knows? That's a massive contract. I think he's the highest paid defenseman in the NHL.
What's he making this year?
Well,
you guys know, here's a fun fact. Who is the highest paid player in the NHL this year? You guys both got one guess. Oh, you got it right in the first guess. It's Segs.
13 million, I think.
Yeah, it's like 12.9, I think. The Seattle Kraken, Kevin Santaglio.
Oh, man, they're up and coming. It's coming together. It's coming. They're going to be a fun team to watch.
They will be.
That's the thing. All that young talent they've got. Because who they get? They got Cooley, right? No. Who they got Shane Wright.
There you go.
Matty Beniers.
Yeah, Cooley's in Arizona.
Yeah. Who's that other guy they got, though? We were talking about the other day. I don't know.
Shane Wright and Beniers are the guys they got.
No, was there another guy, too?
Burakovsky? Bjorkstrand?
Little Wayne?
I don't know.
Snoop D-O-double-G?
Oh, by the way, keep your eyes peeled on Twitter tomorrow or today.
Is Little Wayne dropping an album?
If you're listening to this podcast, I think we might drop this tomorrow. The Seattle Kraken are going to announce their mascot on October 1st.
Oh my God, it better be a guy with a crack pipe.
It's going to be a guy with a crack pipe or like an octopus with a crack pipe. That would be great.
Imagine, never mind. Take that thought, throw it out the door. Yeah, the Kraken.
Tell me later.
Yeah, I like the Kraken. I do. I think they're going to be fun to watch. I bet on the Kraken last night. They won their game. Shout out to the Kraken. Shane Wright, talented guy. Probably should have went number 1 overall because the Canadians are already shitting on Yurov Slavkovsky for being underwhelming. Shane Wright was the best player in that draft, and I've maintained that. The second best player in that draft was Logan Cooley.
Yes.
So
I would have argued that he would have been my number 1 pick.
Talent-wise, yes, but you're falling into that Zegras range. He's a Zegras type player. So he's the most talented, yeah. Shane Wright's the most NHL ready. Shane Wright is going to play this year and be good. And Matty Beniers is going to win the Calder. There's a lot of good things happening in Krakenville. Sorry, I keep getting mixed up with the words. Seattle.
Still the most disappointing expansion draft.
Seattle's right near Portland, Washington, right? Or you can just like do
Portland,
crack in the
Oregon.
Streets. Yeah, Portland, Oregon. Is Oregon close to Washington?
Yes.
You can do crack there. So shout out to Kraken. The Vancouver Canucks.
A lot of turmoil behind the scenes in the organization. I think this is my pick to be Blackhawks Part 2, the new Chicago Blackhawks this year. They added the Russian Kuzmenko.
Oh, he did good last night.
He did. I haven't really watched any NHL preseason, I'll be fair. But they added Mikheyev. They added Lazar in the offseason. They signed JT Miller to an extension recently. And now there's questions about Bo Horvat and his extension. The owner of the team has some legal issues going on that's going to create a distraction around the team.
You've got your kids.
Allegedly.
One big thing I know the Canucks are pushing for is for Quinn Hughes to become more of a leader.
Jesus
They're
Christ.
looking
How
for
do you
him
do
to
that?
step up.
You just walked away, you walk back, and then bang, right into it. I love it.
Yeah, no, I'm made for this shit. Quinn Hughes, I had to pee, sorry. Quinn Hughes is a guy that they've targeted, and they sat down the offseason and they said, hey, we like what you do on the ice. You need to pick that up. You need to become more of a leader. And I think he's going to respond well. He's ready to step up and show that he wants to lead this team on and off the ice.
This team is way too goddamn talented.
Way
to
too
be
talented.
Mediocre.
They should make the playoffs.
If they don't make the playoffs, one of their big pieces is getting traded, and I would not be surprised if that is their captain.
Yeah, it's them. So the Golden Knights and the Canucks are going to fight with the Kings. It's going to be – so the Oilers and the Flames are in the playoffs. The Kings, Canucks, and Golden Knights all have a 33% chance of making it to me.
I think that, as like we said with the Atlantic, where they might get 5 teams in, the Pacific could get 5 as well.
Yep.
But the Central could also get 4 or 5.
No, the Central's not as good.
The Central, we'll get into next week, but just off the top of my head, I have the Avs, the Wild, and the Blues.
Right, Nashville?
Nashville will be fighting with these 3 teams for that last.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, for the wild card.
The problem is with the Pacific is
it's going to be just like last
year. They beat each other up a lot, and it's tough for them to get points. Like it is, like, and that's where a Central team can kind of slide above and be less good. But that's the NHL.
Welcome to the parity in the league, my friends.
The Vegas Golden
Last
Knights,
but not least.
Least but not last. Kevin, how do you feel about the Vegas Golden Knights?
I'm iffy on them.
I think this is going to be their worst season yet.
Yeah.
they have the talent, but they don't have the talent.
Do they really have the talent? They have Jack Eichel and Mark Stone.
And Phil Kessel.
Oh, God. Philly hot dogs. Yeah, no.
I mean, you've got Pietrangelo on the back end.
Better guys there.
You've got Shea Theodore. You've got the regular line of Marchessault, Riley, and who's the last one?
Tromblett?
No.
Tromblett.
I don't know.
Carlson. There you go. Carlson, Marchessault, and Riley.
Riley's playing with Eichel and Kessel.
So here's the problem. In Vegas.
If Riley Smith, Phil Kessel, and Jack Eichel are your first line, good luck. Jack Eichel's superstar. But guess who in the East could shut down Jack Eichel? Patrice Bergeron, Steven Stamkos, Austin Matthews. That's what I was going to. And there's
Brady
I
Tkachuk.
have another one. Tkachuk. There's a list of guys, who will shut down Eichel alone. Because he's even with all those guys. And their wingers, if you ever try to roll out Phil Kessel and Riley Smith against DeBrusque and Marchand or Hall and Pasta, have fun. Good luck. Godspeed.
And
you get torched.
We haven't even addressed the elephant in the room.
Terrible goaltending.
Terrible goaltending is awful this year.
And they have a team full of guys who they're going to need young guys to step up and a coach who gives young guys a pinch collar instead of a nice leash to run on. So
and then here's the other problem. They are so far deep in LTIR, they will not be able to add players at the deadline unless they are adding more dead money into the mix.
Yeah, I just don't.
They just for those of you who don't understand the salary cap, when you're in LTIR, you cannot accrue cap space during the season. You have to get more LTIR
and
players.
I just don't see this guy being the one who fixes the problems there.
Oh my God. Viscosity.
Somewhere
our dear friend Andrew Taverna is crying looking at this picture.
Cry away. I have no problem.
Was Andrew as dapper as that at the Bruins preseason game?
I don't know. I saw some tweets from the Only Bruins podcast that he was looking quite fly. Probably not as fly as Bruce. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube, you're missing out. I've had it playing on the ticker at the bottom the whole time. Buy our merch. Please buy our merch. It helps us bring this podcast to you. Also, subscribe to our YouTube at Inside the Rink. Find our videos. They're the ones, if you go to the Inside the Rink YouTube, look for the ones that have a lot of views. That's our videos. So go there, jump on those. Also, if you're a Bruins fan, check out Bruins Benders. They're crushing it with the Bruins stuff. Check them out. Love those guys over there. Shout out Tyler. Shout out Matt. Shout out Lops Brewing. They're sponsored by Lops Brewing. Great brewery. Bruce is off the screen. You can see Kevin again. And
Kevin was hiding behind David Krejci.
I think that kind of wraps up the Wild Wild West segment. I have a bet for us for this week, but it's also the bet we gave last week because we recorded before the games happened. So do we give another betting segment or do we just put out the old one? I have no new bets. I mean,
we can punt this week. I mean,
I have no new bets. My bet.
We're having a fun episode. This is a longer episode already than we typically have, and
maybe
I don't know.
We rattle through, I don't.
Maybe we just need to sit here and play some Call of Duty together afterwards until the wee hours in the morning, like we're dumbass college kids again.
I think that's what we need to do. But if I can ask anything, it's just if you're still listening, which God, I mean, I hope you're not at this point, but if you are, I mean, I hope you are, but we're going to come out better merch. Our merch, we know. We're aware. We know. I mean, the rainbow merch is pretty cool. The one with the big logo on the center of your chest, I understand that's not with the styling anymore.
My Pride logo.
Yeah, the Pride logo is pretty sick. Buy our merch. Little shout out to Sophia, who's been helping us behind the scenes on some social media stuff, drawing up some different logos and designs. Big shout out to Kevin. Not this Kevin, not Kevin Santangelo.
Not big Kevin. Sexy Kevin with the
not our Kevin,
right
but
now.
Kevin who helped us make these videos for the podcast. Big shout out to you.
Kevin Sean. And
Kevin
you can find him on Twitter at Oilers Digital.
Oh, did not know that. Oilers Digi.
And he actually works for a Canadian junior team now as one of their graphic designers. So
yeah, and shout out Garth, because Garth's just a good human.
And we know that Garth listens all the way through this podcast.
I don't know if he listens to the end.
Yes, he does.
And it's another thing, just inside the rink, right? Obviously something that the three of us are super passionate about. This season, it's going to become your home for hockey. It's going to be the number one place for you to get real articles that are written by real humans.
Like
a
me.
place for you to watch live streams that are going to give our honest opinions. In a place where you're going to get just raw betting NHL coverage. Just NHL coverage from guys, from girls, from girls, from girls, guys, from everybody. Like we're a big happy family here. We're going to be covering the PHF. We're going to be covering, did I say that right? The PHF? Yep. I did. The NHL. We're going to be covering the Maple Leafs, as much of a joke as that is, to the Boston Bruins, as much of a joke as that can be. We're going to cover all 32 teams for you, and just go to our website, check it out, and click on the ads. Like if something comes up and it's like, hey, that's a really cool power strip for my house.
Actually, we are running a very beautiful promotion of ITR Plus. Which is typically $2.99 a month. However, you can get a 30-day free trial and have absolutely no ads and be all hunky-dory. Just smooth sailing, baby.
It makes a difference.
Kumbaya.
Also,
and then you can let it go and give that $2.99 to support your favorite writer, like the big sexy Kevin
Santana, or our podcast. Also, as we just keep rambling on, with RTR Plus, there's going to be a lot of exclusive content, whether that's getting to come meet up with us at a Winter Classic, if that's grabbing a drink with us before a Bruins game, if that's getting a free T-shirt. Who knows what it's going to be, but it's going to be some special stuff. Maybe it's Kevin gives you his game-worn T-shirts. Who knows? Who knows what it's going to be? All I know is that there are big things coming, and we have a lot of fun stuff to announce in the coming months. So stay tuned and lock in and get on the duck boats, because we are
people who've been with us a while. Those Kevin Speedo calendars in the works.
Logo.
Oh, big sexy.